a.m. on Wednesday, July 17th. I'll go ahead and call the meeting of the Logansport Board of Public Works to Safety. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please, Carol Sue.
Mayor Franklin?
Here.
Chris Armstrong?
Here.
Ron Miller?
Present.
Approval of minutes from the July 10th, 2013 meeting.
I've read the minutes, and I'll make a recommendation that we approve the July 10th, 2013 minutes as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $319,939.95.
I have reviewed the claims. I'd make a motion that we approve the claims in the amount of $319,939.95.
Second.
Presented.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of licenses. There are none for consideration today. Are there any visitor comments? All right, hearing none. There's no old business for consideration. Under new business, we have Becky Harris with Logan's Landing with a request for a street closure. This would be for the Taste of Cass County to be held on August 10th. Yeah, please do.
Yes, the event is Saturday, August 10th. It starts at 5 p.m. It will remain open. The beer tent will remain open until 1 a.m. Please note, different from previous years, the beer tent will be in the Little Turtle Waterway Park area. I've already gotten approval from the Parks Board for that. So we will have less stuff out in the street to deal with. We're still asking for closure of the entire area, 3rd to 5th on Melbourne, and 4th Street we're asking for from Market to Melbourne. We probably will not close that entire section. Most likely it will only be from the east-west alley that runs behind the old Salvation Army building to Melbourne. If we close 4th Street from Market over, we will do so after the farmers market on Saturday morning, just out of courtesy to them.
Any questions for Becky?
I have none. I would make a motion that we approve Logan's Landing's request for street closure on August the 10th.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
ADA compliance agreement, First Group Engineering. That is Chris Armstrong.
I don't know that we need formal motion on this. We are going to sign this agreement today, allowing First Group Engineering to come in and do all of our ADA compliance that we have to have done that is mandatory.
This is the inventory.
Yes.
This is to just take account of what we have to do. It does not include any of the construction costs. It's
No.
just, yeah. And I just wanted to make that clear. I certainly understood that myself, but for the record, I wanted that to be understood. And this, again, is a requirement. City Council has approved the appropriation. It's a requirement by the federal government. If we don't become compliant with the ADA standards that have been spelled out, we could jeopardize all federal funding that we receive. It's one of these things we have to do. So, having said that, I know that Chris has worked very hard to review all the proposals that came in. They ranged everywhere from $50,000 to $150,000. But the lower bids were not complete and could have led to several tens of thousands of dollars more. This was the best deal that was available. And she and I have worked on it for a few months now, but to her credit, mostly her. And I think this is the recommendation. It's the right thing to do. So therefore, I would make the motion that we approve the agreement that's been offered by First Group Engineering to deal with our ADA inventory.
I'd second that.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Chris. Good work. Mike Clark with the Police Department. Good morning, Mike.
I've submitted a letter for your consideration on the hiring of a new probationary officer for the Logansport Police Department, Seth M. Schaefer Barton. He's a 22-year-old Logansport area. He grew up in the Winnemac area, currently lives with his parents in Star City, but he's going to locate to Logansport. Reason being, he just got out of the Marine Corps. He was in recon. He was on several special teams in the Marine Corps. I think he would be a good asset for the police department. He's completed all necessary physical testing, mental aptitude testing, and everything. It's all been passed. I would ask, though, that if you do indeed give a favorable recommendation to his hiring, that it be contingent on approval from PERF. I've been in daily contact with them, and I should have received the okay yesterday. I haven't. They assured me that there were no issues. It was sitting on the doctor's desk waiting for his signature. They're going to call me immediately. I gave them my cell phone and my desk phone to let me know when that happens. It could be this morning, it could be tomorrow, but they assured me it would be done by the end of the week. So I would ask that if you do give a favorable recommendation, that is contingent on him getting the okay from PERF.
Can you explain the urgency and why you're making this request right now instead of waiting until next week?
The urgency is the Law Enforcement Academy runs every 15 weeks. We currently have a spot reserved for him to start this coming Monday, July 22nd. And if we don't get it rushed through, then we're going to have to wait another 4 months before we can hire him.
When did you start this review process of Seth Barton?
With the medical testing?
No, with everything.
With everything?
Yeah. It's been months.
Yeah, I would guess 5 months maybe.
You did the background checks?
Yes, sir.
Polygraph exam?
Yes, sir. Everything's been completed.
He's passed everything. It's just a matter of the formality of waiting on the PERF doctor to sign the document that says he's passed his physical.
Yes, I got assurance from the medical company that does all the testing. They said there were no issues whatsoever. Well, then it goes to PERF, which is our retirement.
Mm-hmm.
They have to review it, sign off on it. That's what we're waiting on.
Are there any questions for the chief?
No.
I would make the motion that we approve the request to hire Seth M. Schaefer Barton with the contingency that he must be approved and signed off by it's now Empress. It used to be PERF.
Yes.
But it's now Empress in Indianapolis, which is a state agency that oversees the retirement and the qualifications, physical and mental qualifications to become a police officer or firefighter. So with that, I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
First United Methodist Church, Andrea Thomas. Hi. Can you come to the microphone? Please state your name for the record.
Andrea Thomas.
Okay, Andrea. You have a request here to close an alley on, I'm looking for the date, 27th of July between the hours of noon and 4:30 p.m. in order to host a block party for Vacation Bible School kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. And it looks as if the Department of Public Works has signed off on it. The Chief of Police has signed off on it. The Fire Chief signed off on it. Everybody's good with it? Any questions from the board?
I have none. I make a motion we approve the request for closure of that alley on July 27th.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
None.
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay, dumpster request, Mike Boonstra, removal of roof. Is that you, Bill? Did that go through your department?
I'm not sure. I have not looked at it.
Building permit? Are you aware of a building permit?
For the
for the roofing? Probably doesn't take one for roofing, does it?
Yes, it does.
It does?
And I don't order the building permit. On the dumpster, we fill out the application, and we send it to Dan's department for his review to get his approval on it.
Mr. Williams, can you come forward? Thank you, Dan. Typically, for a request
Dan
like
Williams,
this,
601 East Broadway.
typically for a request like this, they're accompanied with the request is a location, a drawing of where the dumpster would be located. We have no idea what the request is other than dumpster request. Do you have any idea where that would be positioned?
This is the first that I have seen it, Your Honor. I will go right when we leave and visit and make sure, but this has not reached my office.
Okay. And Bill, do you have any idea when the process would begin?
I think the process started, they came in on Monday morning to do that. On what we're looking at here, there is a sketch in the bottom of the sheet.
We don't have anything.
Yeah, let's see. No have.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you should have a copy of that in your packet.
Sorry.
No, we don't.
Don't have it. And maybe this will clear up all the questions right now. Oh, it's not even over here at this place.
No.
So he wants the dumpster on 13th Street.
Correct, yeah. He's doing a re-roof,
Smeed.
he's taking off the shingle roof and putting a metal roof on the building.
Okay. Smeed, I assume that this is north?
Correct.
Okay, so let me Smeed's, okay, so it's south of Smeed Street on 13th.
And he's put in here that he's going to hold it about 30 feet back from the intersection, right on the edge of the curb there. Be there for 1 week.
Makes sense to me. The picture's worth 1,000 words. We just didn't see the picture. All right. Thank you. I would make the motion that we approve the dumpster request by Mike Boonstra for removal of roofing material in the neighborhood of 13th and Smeed.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further questions?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All passes on a vote of 3-0. All right. Building Commissioners report.
Good morning, everyone. I did submit my report for your review, rather late, but you're getting used to that, I hope. But if there's any questions, I'll take those questions now. The one item on the report that I'd like to discuss is 208 South 6th Street, the structure that we've been discussing for quite some time. I would recommend at this point that we submit the 10-day notice to each one of the property owners, putting them on notice that we require a response within 10 days of their plan or action, which the engineering report, which they all currently have in their possession. The 10-day notice is something we have to move forward with at any point. So this will keep the movement forward to get the building resolved as quickly as we can. We are talking with 210 South 6th Street, Virginia Cook's building. She has become very proactive and she's moving forward with a plan. We've got some items just to clarify through her plan to ensure that we cover the needs of the downtown overlay as far as what the property will look like once the building is removed from that location, which it appears at this point that that's the direction she's moving, though that has not been finalized.
Okay. And as you move south towards those buildings, is there any involvement with the insurance agency, with Kevin Crook?
Yeah, my position is going to be that based on the engineering report on the structural failures that are evident in that building, that owner is going to have to correct those failures prior to any demolition occurring. Mm-hmm. The report is very clear on the items that have to be corrected or stabilized to bring it up to the current code level requirement.
And there's at least an understanding that common wall between 210 and 214 would be inherited and solely owned by the insurance agency.
By default, that's the way it would operate, yes. That would become an exterior wall of the insurance agency once the building, if it is 210, is removed, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Mayor. I talked to Kevin Crook last week, and his understanding or what his thoughts were that it would still be owned 50-50, part of it by him, part of it by her. That's the understanding that he has.
That's something that I would assume that you're going to have to research, but as I read the state statutes, that once the building that is sharing a party wall is removed, by default, that party wall then reverts to an exterior wall of the owner of the building. And it's common, I mean, they set that up primarily through the condominium association driven acts, that when one wall was constructed as a party wall, but then the portion of the building was removed, that wall by default became an exterior wall of the property owner. So.
I'll look into it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we have everything, all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Okay, I would make a motion that we approve the building commissioner's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Move on. Thank you, Bill. It's, all in favor of approving the building department's report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Code enforcement. Good morning, George.
Good morning. You have in front of you a copy of my weekly report for your review and approval. If you have any questions, I'll answer them.
I played code enforcement when you were gone the other day, and I just want to say that I now have a better realization of what you go through every day.
Thank you.
I make the motion that we approve the code enforcement's weekly report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Superintendent of Public Works.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning.
I respectfully submit my report for the Mount Hope Cemetery and also the Logansport Street Department. If you have a few minutes to thumb through, I'll be glad to answer any questions about anything at any time. Hopefully you'll see to it and approve it. And while you're doing that, I would like to echo Chris Armstrong's little note on the code enforcement. A couple of those I went out with her on, and we both got educated. So that is a department that I don't know how you could ever win.
I make the motion that we approve the report of the Superintendent of Public Works as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Passes on a vote of 3-0.
Thank you.
Police Department Chief Clark's monthly report.
I gave
That
mine
was last week.
last week. I don't have a formal report for you, just an update. We had our 2 officers did graduate from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy last Friday. They're currently back at the department starting the field training officer program, so they're on their way. And then, as I said earlier, Monday, if everything goes right with Empress, that we'll have another one start at the academy then. But
And you have yet one more coming back?
yes, we have an officer that is going to come back to employment here.
Okay. How many openings does that leave you after the 2 last week?
And the 1 today.
Barton today, and then the officer that will be back in a couple weeks.
After those are done, we'll still have to be 2 short.
2 short, okay.
Yeah, we just waiting on the final paperwork for one retiree to be turned in, then I'll bring it to you for your approval. He hasn't completed his paperwork. He's currently on vacation.
Okay.
So as soon as I get that,
All right.
but
Thank you.
counting his position, it'll be 2.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Make the motion that we approve the chief's verbal report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pass on a vote of 3-0. Fire Chief Mark Strong has your monthly report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My report's there if you have any questions, and my mileage and everything. Been really a pretty quiet month as far as fires. And been averaging about 100 calls a month, which is pretty much settled down to be normal.
Make the motion that we approve the fire chief's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Pass on a vote of 3-0. Board member comments.
No.
Miscellaneous business, including ADA Section 504 compliance and concerns, and any other matters not already considered. Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.